All right, now that we've taken a breather and I got some good caffeine in me, let's see here. Before you hate me and say I'm evil and try to excommunicate me and curse me and try to exorcise me or whatever, listen to this guy about what I think. I agree with him. And it's kind of funny.
We can argue about the existence of God all day long. We'll never know whether there is a God in heaven until it's too late for me. But if you're Christian, you believe that Jesus was born in Bethlehem. That's in the Middle East. Had he been white, that would have been the fucking miracle. He would have been the only white guy for 400 miles, and it would have blown people's minds. Oh, look, he's turning water into wine. He's a different color! Why is no one mentioning this? We live in the desert. The sun is always in the sky, yet somehow he's got the complexion of a fucking snowman. Whatever those are.
Anyway, I thought that was quite funny. It's kind of like the thing. It doesn't really matter. You have the right to believe what you want, right? And I really wanted this podcast to bring people closer to God, not the hate speech on Mormonism. But there's just so much angst and suffering caused by that church that I have to share this. And I didn't get everything out. I'm just learning how to save things on TikTok. One person, I don't think I got the audio, and it goes away. I don't know if it'll ever come back. This guy's like, the Mormon church has spent less money than Walmart has in 1 year. In the history of Mormon church, Walmart has spent more money in humanitarian aid than the Church of Mormons. The thing is that money-wise, they have hundreds of billions of dollars. I mean, you can look that up. Anyway, here you go. My next clip.
This is what the church sounds like to someone who has escaped its brainwashing. Black people can't have the priesthood or go through the temple. Just kidding. Slavery is ordained of God. Just kidding. Women can give blessings of healing. Just kidding. Children of gay parents can't be blessed or baptized until they're 18. Just kidding. Gay people who get married are apostates. Just kidding. The Lamanites are the principal ancestors of the Native Americans. Just kidding. The Book of Abraham is a direct translation from the papyrus. Just kidding. Joseph Smith did not practice polygamy. Just kidding. Adam is God. Just kidding. Oral sex within marriage makes you unworthy. Just kidding. You cannot use birth control. Just kidding. Having dark skin means you were not valiant in the pre-existence. Just kidding. Practicing polygamy is required for exaltation. Just kidding. We will not stop practicing polygamy in this dispensation. Just kidding. Women must covenant to obey their husbands to be exalted. Just kidding. Being gay is a choice. It's sinful and it's curable. Just kidding. Feminism is evil. Just kidding. Women cannot participate in temple ceremonies while they're on their period. Just kidding. For a church that claims to speak for an unchanging God, they sure do change their mind a lot. I have good sources for all of these claims. Leave a comment if you can think of any other example.
Let's go on to some apologetics in this famous podcast. If you haven't heard of them, Mormon Stories, go look at that. I'm not doing that. But she does a wonderful thing on that podcast and the whole thing. Mormon Stories. But listen to this.
Mormon BYU apologist Hannah Syriac makes a super important point. She wrote, reading the CES letter and listening to Mormon Stories podcast doesn't qualify as rigorous research. And Hannah's right. But you know who are rigorous researchers? Dan Vogel, Richard Bushman, Michael Coe, Robert Rittner, Michael Quinn, Sandra Tanner, Shannon Caldwell-Montez, Carolyn Pearson, Brett Metcalf, Jeremy Runnels, David Bakovoy, Christine Clark, Hans Matson, Radio Free Mormon, Bill Reel, Tom Phillips, Matt Harris, John Hamer, Mike Brown, and literally hundreds of other Mormon Stories podcast guests who have spent their entire lives researching Mormonism and who aren't paid by the Mormon Church to mislead you. So you have a few choices. You can listen to Hannah Syriac. You can listen to other BYU apologists who have a lifelong record of deceiving, questioning Mormons, or you can save yourself literally decades of your life and read the CES letter and listen to Mormon Stories podcast and figure things out in a few weeks, months, or days. It's totally your choice. It's your life.
Good evening. I've seen a lot of testimonials coming out of people leaving the Mormon Church. I went to Richmond, Virginia on my mission. I was knocking on doors, asking the Baptists to read a book and pray and see if they can feel the Holy Spirit confirming whether or not this book was true. Now, the thing is I just don't understand. I left the church too. Actually, I tried to stay in it, but they kicked me out because they were silent and I was bringing up stuff that they didn't understand, and I had answers and things that I just don't understand why I wasn't welcome there anymore. But anyway, I just wanted to say that Baptists and Mormons are just the same thing.
Okay. Let's take a break from Mormonism and that clips. I have one more clip to show you. But this, I'm going to add a little politics, because Mormonism and politics go real close together. Mormons are real hardcore Republicans, and they believe you need to, God blesses with money, in my experience. But this guy talks a little bit about the current state of affairs and the job market and why we are not lazy.
Good morning, bad news. Americans who lost their job during the pandemic are not going back to work, and it's creating a massive labor shortage. We expected 1 million new jobs last month, but only a quarter of them were filled, while the unemployment rate is still above 6%. But you know what? I lied. It's actually great news, because there isn't a labor shortage. There are more than enough people to do these jobs. What's actually happening is a massive restructuring of the labor market in response to the fact that these jobs suck and no one's willing to do them unless the alternative is literally poverty and homelessness. But with pandemic unemployment payments and the eviction moratorium, the poorest Americans who have been forced to do these jobs to maintain basic human needs are now saying, no, we're not going to go back to dirty, dangerous, thankless jobs where we're treated like garbage by customers and management while our actual labor pays for our boss's new Mercedes. And that's terrible for exploitative business owners, billionaires, real estate developers, and Wall Street, who all depend on minimum wage workers to keep cranking out trillions of dollars in productivity. Many companies are now being forced to raise entry-level pay to attract the low-wage workers they desperately need to keep the company going. Because as it turns out, those disposable burger flippers are actually the most valuable and necessary employees they have. But don't be fooled, this isn't the free market at work. This is a global disaster shining a tiny bit of light onto a completely broken and unsustainable economic system that can only survive through blind exploitation and wage theft under the threat of artificially created poverty.
Did you catch that? He's right on. Anyway, this last thing is a remark on a general conference every 6 months. The old farts go to talk about their, they have a talk and wisdom to everybody. So it's converting now, and I'll upload it in just a second.
So I got a video taken down for hate speech. But yeah, it was really bad. Like, really bad. So even the church, on the church's website, they don't even post the talk in its entirety. The text has been altered, but the video's there. If TikTok is going to remove a general conference talk for hate speech, that says something. And yes, while the church has softened their views on the LGBTQ standpoint, it's not enough. And I really hope they're not softening for legal reasons. But yeah, the talk was given by Harmon Rector Jr. in the 1981 General Conference, titled Turning the Hearts. You know, in case you needed it for anything.
I go to Target just to
What the
buy
heck
this
is that?
because I support the LGBTQ and all the other alphabets. Okay, this is for you.
There's such thing as a little too much.
This is for you for swimming.
It's a little too much.
So that we can see you right away.
It's a little too much.
Too much. This is the only thing that I bought. Too much? Huh?
I'm straight, actually. I'm straight.
Are you talking? Huh?
This next one is comparing leaving a cult versus leaving a gym.
Okay, so all your made-up drama's inconvenient to my sensibilities. I don't want to think about the things that question my tranquility. Why don't you just drop it? I think it's pathetic, your apostasy. I just left my gym, but you don't hear me shouting loud for all to see. Wow, you're right, I guess I never realized they were so comparable. Maybe all that made-up drama really wasn't very terrible. I just wonder if the gym is good enough of a comparison. Out of curiosity, when you went to the gym, did they ever do this? Mormons taught me what to think, and Mormons taught me how to feel. So unless your gym did all of that, then your comparison is dumb as fuck.
So now you've been to the Church of the Immortal Self. Thank you very much for listening. Continue to listen, and I hope I get better. I think this episode was very different than the last because I found TikTok, and I'll be able to post these. And you don't have to search them. Anyway, have a nice day, guys.